So I'm going to show you every piece of utility that you need to know in order to shut down the A site on CT Vertigo. So starting off, this is the most important smoke you could ever learn as an A player, and that is the good old-fashioned bottom ramp smoke that is something like this. So ideally you want to learn how to throw it on the run like I just did there, but it's a little bit difficult if you're newer to throwing moving smokes like that. So to practice and for demonstration purposes, you just want to get stuck right here into this part of the wall, look up towards the line in the ceiling, and it's a simple run throw. The second your crosshair ends up passing this little plus, you release. It's just as simple as that. So I'll go ahead and show that for you. Just release right when you cross the plus, and boom, it's going to hit that pole and go all the way down to bottom ramp. So you can throw it like that a little bit slower. You're going to mess up a little bit of timing. You're not going to have as much velocity, so the smoke's going to be forward a little more than you would like. But anyways, that is how to throw it. If you typically play yellow, this is another really good one to learn to throw kind of on your way out of spawn. This is a very loose lineup. It's not very precise, but for some reason it works really consistently. Right as you cross around this corner, you just want to do a regular left click run throw right at this little red fencing here. So just a simple left click run throw, and it's going to end up landing down inside of yellow and smoking off so that you're able to peek ramp and help out your team. You would not believe how often this works, where you're going to have enemies with backs turned, especially if you have ramp players that are taking a little bit of fights. You can end up peeking off this and getting so many kills. It's honestly, as for a really simple smoke and one that doesn't really seem that significant, I've probably gotten more kills as a CT just by throwing this than almost any other piece of utility combined. So if you followed my channel for a while, you'll probably recognize this one way. This is really important for regaining ramp control late round. You just get stuck into this corner and just look at the very top left-hand corner of this box and do a simple left-click throw. That's basically the old sandbag smoke from CSGO, but it's just a little more effective than before because they have to get even further up in order to peek you. So if the T's have been rushing yellow a lot and you're kind of concerned about that, off spawn, you can just kind of go up to this corner and throw a left click right in the center. There's this little vertical crack in the wall right here. Just left click a molly right at the center of that. That's going to perfectly molly off yellow and prevent the rush. Once that molly is dissipating, if you think they're up in this region here, you can simply throw, this is a really loose lineup. Like I don't put much thought into this. As long as I'm standing kind of somewhere in the area of this circle, you can just left click a nade like right at the edge of the yellow here, and it'll just end up dropping down, you know, like this onto the stairs. So, you know, if you think they're hanging out around here, maybe they're going for different peaks, it's just a good little, you know, you'll get some just good chunk HE damage off of it. If the molly's still down and you think maybe they're sitting back in this region, you can always just throw an HE by just running here and just pretty much a simple run throw just right off the left side of this I-beam. I mean, just good nades. You'll start chunking up some damage, and it'll really condition them to stop hanging out in yellow because they think they're just going to get nade dumped. So there's two great supporting flashes you can throw from this position for anyone on ramp or short. So the first one, if you want to blind all of ramp, all you have to do from this corner, you just left click at the top right of the crane here, just like this. I'll show you from the T perspective. It absolutely annihilates them. It's really hard to look away from, and any of your players standing up here on yellow, they're not going to get blind. It's going to go over their head. Anyone standing in this position, it's going to go over their head. It's not going to blind them, and anyone standing down here, you've guessed it, it's not going to blind them. So next, from the same position, if you want your short player to be able to peek yellow, all you have to do is just left click a flash right at this little metal piece. It's going to end up full blinding anyone down here in yellow. As you can see, pretty hard to turn away from. They're going to absolutely eat it. And also your short player here, it's not even going to half blind them, so they can very easily peek here without any obstruction. So if you're ever stuck behind this smoke, whenever you hear them plant, you can just get stuck into this corner right here and just jump throw a molly right at this little plus right here. What that's going to do is land right in front of default here. It's going to molly off default. They're definitely going to be burning in this position. It'll spread even all the way over to the corner if they're planning for short. It's a really good molly. It even spreads all the way over here to where it's going to get, you know, people planting into this corner. It gets the whole default plant line. One of the better mollies that you can throw. You can also pair that up with an HE. If you get stuck into this position right here, aim your crosshair at the bottom of this bar and just do a walking throw and just release right when you get to the center of this big wall panel. I don't know. But yeah, you just a simple walk throw, release about now. That's going to land and do right at 50 damage to anyone planning. So if you pair those two up, you can probably even just flat out kill the planner. So if you ever end up in a retake situation from back here, you can get stuck into this corner right here and look up towards this window. There's a little dark spot right here towards the center. As you can see, towards the bottom left, just do a regular left click throw, and that is going to smoke off short, helping you out with your retake. Pair that with a flash, and boom, you're in business for a solid retake. So yeah, I hope all of these smokes help you out, and you're able to get a few more rounds in your next CS2 Vertigo Premier match.